So I talked to my son earlier, and he asked me, "Mom, why you never post anything about you?" And I told him simply because nobody really cares. Everybody wants to know about my kids and my granddaughter. Nobody cares about what Connie does. Nobody cares about her life. But I decided I'm gonna share, some about me, some about my past, some about my experience in life, my heartache, my heartbreaks, my things that I overcame in life, and maybe one or two people that go through the same thing, and they can see this and learn from this and say that you can do it. Because trust me, once upon a time I didn't think I could, and I did it. I'm here now. I'm here to tell my story. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I'm a survivor. So why not share it? Welcome to Mama C Chronicles. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today is going to be about my life, a small story time about how I got where I'm at now. Moved from Germany, from a different country to a wholly different country, United States of America, and how everything kind of happened. So I'm going to start with the beginning. I was a one of four children growing up with my mom. She was a single mom. She's white. She lives in Germany. So I grew up in Germany with my mother and three other siblings. It was interesting because we was the only black family in the little town we stayed. It was a little bitty town. Talking about cows, you get the eggs delivered, you get the milk delivered. So fresh milk, fresh eggs delivered. It was a country town. So we stayed there. It was the only black family in town. Everybody knew everybody, hands down. You couldn't have a visitor. Everybody knew who was who. So that was where I grew up on. In the school, we only probably had one handful of black children in the school, so it was a mainly white kids school. So my whole life in Germany, we was always the minority. I'm talking about minority. There was nobody beside us most of the time. So I never had nobody to look up to. I never had nobody I could be like, I want to be like that. Oh my God, another beautiful black woman, or a beautiful, successful leader. I never had that. I never grew up with that, and I always wanted to move to America and live on the land of the free, and I felt like I can be more relating to people, because in Germany there was just simply no one I could relate to. My mom did an awesome job raising us and everything, but however, there was nobody that looks like me that I was looking up to. Not in my family, not in politics, not in TV, nothing. So I always wanted to move to America. I just felt I didn't fit in. Never felt the way I felt in. Just my looks, the way I was. I was felt kind of like an outsider. So my goal was always to move to America. So as soon as I come to age, I met a person that I thought I was in love with, but it was mostly like an escape. He was nice to me. I was like, oh my God, yes, finally. He was in the military. So I got pregnant. We was married first. I got pregnant. She's like, oh my God, I'm finally going to America, finally escaping Germany. The racism, the just not feeling right, not fitting in. I just thought I'd go to America and all my problems and issues would just go away. All my insecurities and not feeling comfortable in my own skin would go away. So I went to America, and it was just me. It was just my son, my ex-husband, and me. Now, of course, he's American. I was a brand new country, did not know nobody, barely know the language. I knew the basic, how do you do, and what's your name? Like the basic stuff you learn in school, that's pretty much what I knew. But my English was not very well. So I really couldn't find a job, not a successful job. So I really was just, my son was 4 months old when I moved to America. So I was a mom full time. And my ex-husband, he had some issues. He was drinking, and he became very abusive towards me. So I dealt with it for quite some time because literally I did not know where to go. I didn't know what to do. This was my dream, come to America. I wanted to be here. And I never even told my family what was going on. Like literally till the day I left. I never told any of my family members what I was going through, because I was so ashamed, and I wanted to, show them that I succeeded in life, but I was ashamed, so I didn't tell nobody. So it was like when he finally was moved to the barracks, we was going through a domestic dispute. He was moved to the barracks and I was in our housing. I decided, well, it's time for me to go back to Germany. So I reached out to my dad, who stayed in Dallas at the time, which I did not really know. Last time I saw him, I think it was like 4 or 5. So I did not know my dad. But I did have his number for my mom. I reached out to him and I told him kind of what's going on and that I'm planning on moving either back to Germany or try to make it in America. So he came the next day with a truck, him and my uncle, and he was in Kentucky, and he moved us to Dallas with him. It was like a small town outside of Dallas where we moved to, and me and my oldest son, he was, I think, a year by then. So we moved to, a small town outside of Dallas. So me and my dad. Remember, though, I didn't know my dad, right? We was not very close. So it was a lot of get to know each other and really did not match a lot. And we had little arguments, disagreements. He still treated me as a small child, and I thought I was grown, still trying to find myself as being a grown up and a mother and trying to handle everything myself. And now I gotta stay under a roof with a man I barely know, who is my dad, who loves me, but I still don't really know the man, right? So I stayed there for a while. Then I met Devon's dad. Decided, I moved to Tennessee with him. Devon was born, and there was a very, very toxic relationship. I literally did not even know the man, not at all. It was just, it was my lust than love, I guess, because I really thought I was in love, but I was not, because, I thought I was. Of course, you always think you are, but I wasn't, and went through a lot. Talking about a toxic, abusive relationship. And I feel like I was somewhat attracted to that because I feel like everybody I got involved with had some issues, and I saw that from the beginning, but I probably thought I can probably change it, I can change them, or they would change for me. You have this idea, I didn't think I was worth anything more. I probably feel like I deserved that. I deserve to be treated a certain way, and there was one of my issues I had, low self-esteem, thinking that whatever I received from them, I deserve. It's my fault. Not their fault, it's my fault. It's because of me that I get treated badly. It's because of me that I get beat up. It's because of what I said that, certain things happened. And I was just, it was sad. Now that I think back that, I had so much potentials in life, and I kind of just shut all that down and just let people treat me any kind of way and talk to me any kind of way. And it's crazy. But anyway, so he was stationed somewhere else. I moved back to my mom's house because he was supposed to be stationed in Iraq, I think, for about 6 or 7 months, or almost like a year. So I decided to go ahead and go back to my mom's house. I haven't seen her in a long time, so I went back to Germany. I was in Germany for about 2 months. No, but probably 2 months. I called him and some female answered. I was like, is my husband there? She was like, no, he's not. I was like, wow. Like, who are you? She's like, doesn't matter. Something like that. I don't know. She said something. She said something snarky. I'm like, what's going on? So I got an email that day that he said, I want to have a divorce. You're never going to be nothing. I'm trying to be somebody someday, and I can't do it with you. I'm going to get full custody of Devon, and, I never pretty much want to see you ever again in my life. Now, we was in a normal marriage that was like, it was toxic, but we were still married. So that day, I had to go to work. So I got the email, and I was like, that's crazy, man. So I went to work, and I broke down at work, and I started crying. And they told me to go ahead and go home because they was like, that's crazy. So I got the email, I printed out, and I put the email on my refrigerator. So I had it on my refrigerator for almost like 7-8 months just to remind myself, don't you ever let nobody do you that way. You're going to prove him wrong. So that happened. So while I'm going through all this slump, right, you're going through so much stress and heartache and everything else, That's how I met my dad. So it was just back to back to back to back to back. Like you go through one thing you're trying to get out of, there comes another person, and you open and you are just so, just your heart is broken, so you're open to anything. So I met my dad, who was great. First, of course, he was great, but he was still young. I was one of his let me see, second serious relationships. So he was great, but he was young, so we had a lot of issues on both sides. I was dealing with my insecurities, my trust issues. He was dealing with his, same thing. We had a lot of issues. So we got married, moved back to America. Actually, we moved back to America first together, got married. Then we had Damari. And, but that relationship didn't work out because there was just too much going on, too many issues. And we like the same thing. We got in this way too fast. They did not know each other. And now I had 3 kids, 3 different baby daddies. Literally thought I was the bottom of the scum. Nobody ever gonna talk to me again. I thought it was it for me. I was like, it is who it is. That's it. I went to my dad, moved to my dad. He took me to church. I always prayed. But I was never a church person, but I always prayed. I prayed about everything. I wake up, I drive to work, I pray. I just always pray and thank God for every blessing, everything that happens to me. I pray for him. It's just, I feel like I have that presence with me, so I always prayed. But like I said, I wasn't a church person. I never went to church, so my dad took me to church. Now remember, I'm on my lowest, right? 3 kids, 3 different baby daddies. Don't think nobody wants me. I'm just, I said for me, I'm like in my early 30s. So I went to a church, and the pastor that I never met before in my life was literally talking to me, telling me that you are good enough. You know what I'm saying? Just, I don't know. I'm not exactly what he said, but he said something like, God loves you. And you are good enough. And that changed my whole life. I just, from that moment on, I was like, yeah, I am good enough. I am enough for somebody, I don't have to take any abuse and, disrespect, and I am enough. That kind of was like my change in my whole life. From that moment on, I knew I was enough, and I can make it with or without a man. I can make it being single. My goal is to be the best mom I can be, and that will turn my life around. And a little later, I met somebody. We moved to Houston. We started life in Houston. Houston changed my life 100%. It's just, I was in a relationship for a little bit, but then I was single, and I just lived my life. I was single, enjoying life, and just, loving me. So, part 2 is coming next.